sporting, motivational, entrepreneurial, travel, music, also just have an interesting story. So guys, welcome back to the Frankly Nuts podcast. This week, myself and Joe, we're just going absolutely random on it. We're just going to discuss 3 topics each. And again, like always, you don't know mine.
Yep.
I don't know yours. Do you want to just start it off?
Yeah, we're starting it off. I haven't seen you in a week. What's the story?
What's the story?
You've been
in the
out
wars.
of action in the wars. What's happening?
Yeah, I can kick it off. I can start. But basically, this week, I had my appendix out. So last Saturday night, I had my appendix out. So basically, what happened? Last Friday, me and you recorded a podcast. You went off, and I went about my Friday like every other Friday.
Went off.
Yeah. Collected Sarah from work, came home, made food, everything was grand. And we were just chilling, watching Stranger Things on Netflix. And next thing, I just got this cramp in my side. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, what is this? Like, and I just kind of kept it to myself for a while. And then eventually I started getting very uncomfortable. And I was like, okay. I turned to Sarah, I was like, geez, I'm having first fucking problems here on my side. Like, and she was just like, what could it be like? And I was like, I have no fucking idea. So I just left it then. Like, I was like, look, this is going to go away. Went downstairs, told the parents. I was like, I'm freaking out a bit here. Like, and then that's when it kind of got it. My mom was like, could be your appendix.
Right.
And I was like, fuck off. Why would it be my appendix? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, I was looking up the symptoms then, and it's like vomiting, diarrhea, high temperature, and I had none of them. So I was I was like kind of almost ruling it out myself. And then my dad was like, it's probably from the gym, because we had started going to Dan's. And then that just kind of triggered me. I was like, fuck it, it's the gym. Like, it's the gym.
Oh, just a pain, just a cramp from the gym.
You're probably after pulling something.
Yeah, muscle not used in oil or something.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck, that's it. Like, I trotted back upstairs happy as fucking Larry. Like, and then like it just started progressing, like, and getting worse. And I was like, this isn't going away. And then I was like, could it just be fucking some trapped wind, like, you know, a bit of farts, like.
A bit of fart.
That's what I was going through. I was like, Joe, like, it's embarrassing, if I go up to the hospital, like, and they're like, oh, you're just full of air, like,
happened to me before, actually. I got an X-ray, and I just a gas. I was like, like, go on in it.
So, like, that's what was going through my head, like, and so then I just said, fuck it, like, I'm going to have to do something. So we went down to South Dock. And your one was like, look, it could be your appendix. She's like, you'll have to go up to CUH. And she was like, you know, just bear in mind, you'll have to go through A&E. So that could be a while. Got up to A&E anyway, but 1 o'clock in the morning now. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I do not want another operation. Like, and then saw the doctor, he took my bloods. And about 4 o'clock then in the morning, they came to me and said, look, you have 2 options. You can either get like a CT scan on your stomach, like, or whatever, or some sort of scan, just to see if the appendix is inflamed, or we can just go in with a camera through your belly button. Okay. And he was like, we'll have a look, and that'll give us a clear. They were like, we'll give you a clearer view.
What'd you go for?
And I went for the camera. Yeah. Because they were like, if it's the appendix, then I can just take it out there and then, and it's done. Okay. Whereas if I went for the scan and they said it is your appendix, you then have to go to the operation, so it's kind of like you're wasting time. Yeah. So I said, all right, so like the camera's probably the better option. And the Saturday morning then, got the call then about 1 o'clock to head down to surgery. And basically what they do is, they put you to sleep, obviously. And this is the weirdest way to go to sleep, lad. Yeah. Like, she put an oxygen mask over me. And I've had, obviously, like, you know, like, I've had a few surgeries. So I'm kind of used to it. Yeah. But, like, this time she was like, I'm going to have to give you oxygen for, like, 2 minutes, like, pure oxygen. And I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And then she was like, the girl's going to have to put her finger on your throat. And she was like, don't worry, we're not choking you, but, like, we're going to have to apply a bit of pressure. Right. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And that made my heart, like, go. And I was literally lying there, and they brought me into the surgery room. So I was in the room where the surgery was happening, looking around, seeing all the tools, and I was like, lad, this is just freaking me out. And eventually then, like, I had 2 minutes of oxygen, and then they just put, like, the anaesthetic in me, and my body just went so cold, and then out. And woke up then, appendix gone, and... Yeah. And
what do they do? How do they remove it? Like,
so they make like an incision.
Surgery?
Yeah, keyhole. Yeah. So like they make an incision in the belly button, and that's where the camera goes in, and they like fill your stomach with gas so it expands so that they can get a clearer view. Yeah, probably more. And then they make like one incision underneath the belly button, and then one to the left, and there's 3 incisions then, like, and out comes the appendix, like. But it's an absolute useless.
Is it? Yeah.
It does nothing for you. But like. Basically, like, if it does get infected or inflamed, it's dangerous, like, because it could burst. But I was like, how did it happen? Like, that's what was going through my head. I was like, how did this happen? And one of the nurses came up to me the next day and she said, did you go for a poo? And you get that question
during the day, like, is that right?
just like an hour or two beforehand, like, and I was like. I was like, there's no
drop the kids.
Yeah, I was like, there's no comfortable question. Like, I was like, I did, yeah, I went for a poo after dinner, like.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's it. She said, like, your bowel is right next to the appendix, and if poo goes from the bowel into where the appendix is, it infects it and it expands, like, and just gets infected, like, so that's how it happens, like. So basically, I shit into my appendix, like.
Fuck it.
So like, that's
not the most glorious way to go. Like.
No, that's the week I've had now, really. So.
Yeah, and what's the recovery process been like since? Or?
Yeah, Saturday was fine. It's like sore, but basically just whole like 6 weeks, no heavy lifting, no training.
Taking it easy.
Yeah, no soccer, no nothing for 6 weeks.
Ash, you can indulge enough Christmas, like, you know.
Yeah, that's the excuse.
Exactly.
Straight, I got out the calendar. I was like, what, 6 weeks? And it's
Christmas.
like the 18th of December, like. So I was like, fuck it. January, New Year, new me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, New Year's resolution.
So yeah, that's the week I've had. It's been a bit crazy, like, but yeah, we're getting there now. We're recovered.
Jeez, huh? That's mad, boy.
Yeah. So thank the Lord I'm still here, like, you know.
I haven't had as much of a hectic week. Watched a few documentaries and stuff.
Yeah, go on, hit me with it.
Gordon Ramsay on cocaine. Did you see any of that?
No.
Shown
I've heard about it.
Crazy, yeah.
So what's the situation?
Well, like, I suppose I'll half spoil it, but
sorry. Hashtag spoilers, no, we haven't seen it.
Basically, his brother was a drug addict and stuff when he was younger, and he remembers taking his brother to their father's funeral, and he brought his brother to a dealer's flat, like, to get him a hit, just so he could.
Gordon Ramsay brought his brother, like.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So just so he'd be able to
get through the funeral.
Yeah, basically. And then another thing was one of his friends and his head chef, David something. Don't know a second name, but he was he died of a bad batch of cocaine. He used to always be taking cocaine, so basically used to be living on cocaine as a chef, like, you know, just keep him going. And Gordon Ramsay had dinner with him one night, and he then died that night. After dinner, he went to the dealer's house and got a bad batch of cocaine or something, and then died. Yeah, so Ramsay's looking into it. He just, you know, he's saying it's everywhere. Like, so first of all, then he went into his own restaurants first of all and tested the toilets with like these wipes. So like if you wipe it, it comes up blue. Then if there's cocaine, it comes up a blue stain or whatever. Yeah. So he was doing it in his own, in like 12 of his own restaurants or something like that. Staff toilets, load of cocaine. The actual customer toilets
in his hotels,
yeah,
like,
in his restaurants.
Holy fuck!
Customer toilets, loads of cocaine. He tested other places, then bars, pubs that weren't owned by him. Cocaine everywhere. So he was just like, it's ripe everywhere. Like.
It's just rampant.
So
like,
then he goes, this is just episode 1. I've only watched one episode, but I think there's 2 or 3 out. And then what did he do next? Oh yeah, police force, undercover. He goes along an undercover cop, kind of detective, and your man's looking for drug driving. So just middle of the day, Thursday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Thursday, they picked up 2 drug drivers. The first fella was just after collecting his 2 sons from school. And they pulled him aside. He was erratically driving and stuff, pulled him in. And like your man's there, Ramsay's out of the car now and everything, like. And your man's like fucking in a tracksuit, whatever, like, you know, a small little Peugeot. He's like, you Gordon Ramsay? And clear Gordon Ramsay, like, and Gordon Ramsay was like, yeah. And he's like, fuck it, I quite admire you. And all this, like, and he's like, I'm sorry to meet you under these circumstances and all this, like, and Ramsay's just like, yeah. Like, he was being really, like, he was trying to be, like, modest or push it away, like, and the kids are like, hey, you Gordon Ramsay? He's like, just go back inside, kids, and all this. I just found it really weird, like. And so your man was saying all this to Ramsay inside in the car, like, they test his tongue and stuff now, and that's how they can tell, like. And Ramsay just saying, like, Jesus, like, you know, picking up 2 kids under the influence, like I think these drugs now could stay in your system for, like, you might have taken them 2 or 3 days ago, like,
and it's still there, like,
yeah, so they say. So yeah, and then Ramsay gets out of the car, your man kicks off massively then to the actual cop, like.
The guy
like, he was really calm and composed, and Ramsay was in there, kicks off to the cop when he's gone. The next fella then was, they pulled him over. They were driving past him, and the undercover cop was like, oh, his pupils look very, like, dilated or whatever, like.
Yeah.
And so they pulled him aside, and they're like, when's the last time you had hard drugs or whatever? He's like, a couple of weeks ago. Like, you look like a normal old fella now. A couple of weeks ago, he was going to collect his son from school, and He just goes again, when's the last time you had drugs? He goes, Sunday. And
completely changed his tune.
Yeah. So then they arrested him, brought him in, tested him. He got done for it, like. And then Ramsay's just like, get help and all this, like.
Trying to give him like.
Yeah, I just didn't like the way he was doing it, like. You know, he was really speaking from like. I know he's probably just trying to be helpful. I just didn't really. It was weird, like the way Ramsay was going.
He's a chef, like, yeah. What's he doing?
He was just like, get help. He was speaking to such a higher power, like. He's like, why'd you take cocaine, your man, and all this, like, and the man's just like, oh, past relationship breakups, you know, I just enjoy the buzz, and they just made shit of the two boys, I thought, like.
Yeah.
But, so then, after that, then, he's just like, it's crazy, like, how much cocaine there is around the place, and he goes to South America to see where it's made. How it's made is absolutely mind-blowing.
How he actually sees how cocaine
is? He goes along, to, like, this farmer's, like, so it's in the middle of a forest, right?
Yeah.
It's Ecuador, Colombia, I think, middle of a forest. First of all, he gets to like this river, and there's a bridge overhead that's broken, so you can't go over the bridge. So he has to drive through this river to get over the other side, and like he's in like a pickup truck now, barely gets through the water, like over to the other side. Then he has to park up in a place and walk an hour and a half into the forest to meet your man. Then he shows him his little farm, like basically it's just a little area with like loads of leaves and stuff, like it's all cocaine leaves, but each leaf only has 1% cocaine in it. So
organically, like, or is it just?
Yeah, it's organic. Yeah.
Me.
They're cocoa leaves or whatever they are, like,
Jesus.
you know. So he has to pick whatever, then like 5. He's to pick so many, like 5,000 kilograms or something, like, just to get whatever, you know, just like 1 kg of cocaine or a couple of kgs of cocaine. So he picks a load, like, and then they have to trek 2 more hours to go to the lab. So his lab then is just like a little tent and stuff. First of all, he puts all the leaves out in this little kind of place. He trims them with the trimmers.
Yeah.
So they're all chopped up. Then he adds cement on them first, right? Cement, yeah. Don't know why he puts in cement. Then sulfuric acid into them.
Holy shit.
Then mixes them all up, takes them out, throws them into a barrel, fills it with gasoline. So all these leaves now in cement is sulfuric acid. Now there's gasoline in them. Then he's like able to filter it. Now in the bottom of the gasoline barrel there's like pure cocaine and stuff, or pure cocaine water. So then he has to filter that out. Then he brings that back to his house where he puts it in a little pot, like, and like he's after collecting so many leaves on the start, and it's just down to a little pot that you make pasta in, like, and he's just got like a little paste. Then he has to put the paste on the thing, and then it just ends up being like some cocaine paste basically broken up, and then he sells that to the dealers for $30, the equivalent of $30, and it'll sell for, what did he say it would sell for? Sell for something crazy, you know, like your man was totally getting outed.
And
like,
is he happy to be selling for 30? Like, in
he's
his
like
culture,
poor,
he's
poor. He's living on nothing. He's making like $150 a week doing
That's
it.
insane, like,
he's living on absolutely nothing. Like,
imagine going to all that effort and getting paid $30.
And it's like a kg or a couple of kg. Like, it's worth, I don't know what, in the street. Like, you know, a few thousand easy on the street. But the process of making it is just mind blowing.
That must be disheartening.
So yeah, that's what I just found from that documentary. I thought it was crazy. Like,
that is insane. Process, like, and there's 3 or 4 episodes.
There's a couple in it. There's a couple. I don't know how many.
Check them
definitely.
out.
Well
Are
worth
they on
watching.
YouTube, or is it?
No, they're not on YouTube. No, you just have to. They're on ITV Flair. Legally. That's where I watched it.
Okay. We get you.
Yeah.
So yeah, my next one is probably a documentary based as well. So suppose just being fucking pent up for the week, I was just like, all right, what'll I watch? And I actually only started watching it last night. So have you seen it? It's called Time, the Kalief Browder story.
Never even heard of it.
You never even heard of it?
Yeah.
It's right up your fucking alley.
Are you serious?
So this guy, right, he's 16, and at 16 he's arrested for stealing a backpack, do you know? And basically he's arrested and he's thrown into jail.
Yeah. And
he gets no court date, and he's actually sent to Riker Island, one of the like toughest prisons in the world.
Yeah.
And he's there for 1,000 days, and 700 of those he spent in solitary confinement.
23
and this
hours,
is
like.
And this is at 16. Like, this happened to him now back in 2010. And he had 30 court dates, so every time this was being brought to trial, a letter would just be sent saying, oh, the jury are on holidays, postpone it 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Push back, and everyone was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, so the background behind it is, his name is Kalief Browder. He was 16, and at 16 he was trying to fit in with his friends. He's from Brooklyn in New York.
Okay.
And he stole a bakery truck, like a red truck,
and
he got caught and he was reprimanded, and basically he was just 5 years probation he was given. So like that kind of gave him a bit of a cop on, like, so he copped on or whatever. And then one night he was just walking home in May with his buddy, and the police pulled him over, and they were like they thought it was like one of those like stop and frisks, it's called in America. So basically the police would just randomly search you, and like to them back then it was just normal. So he just said, yeah, go on, search me. And there was a guy sitting in the back of the police car, and he was saying they stole the backpack, and your man was like, I didn't steal anything, like you can check me, I have nothing on me. And then the guy in the back changed his story and said, oh, they tried to rob me. And then the police went back over and searched him again, and then your man in the back changed his story a third time and said, no, it was 2 weeks ago they tried to rob me. So then the police handcuffed him and said, look, we're going to have to bring you in for questioning, like, and he told the two young fellas, now, like, you'll probably just go in for some questioning and you'll be brought home. And that's when your man actually never went home then for nearly 3 years.
Wow.
He was in in reprimand or whatever. His bail was set at 3,000, and his family were pretty poor. So he's a foster child, his mother adopted him, and they're trying to get the money together, and eventually they do. And when they go to get bail, they're told he actually can't anymore because he broke his probation. So he's just in jail now. 1,000 days he spends in jail before it's brought to trial, and after 1,000 days the case was just dismissed. Just, oh yeah, you can go home.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and
3 years of his life.
and he's fucked from it. I won't give away anything now, like, in case you do want to watch
What's
it.
the name of
it? Time, the
Time.
Kalief.
Is it on Netflix or anything?
Yeah, Netflix. It's just like, he spent 1,000 days there getting beat up, eating nothing, and mentally he's just, obviously that takes its toll on you. He tried to kill himself so many times while in prison.
Go away.
Yeah, and I won't ruin anything else now. Like, if you want to like tune in, it's just great. There's like, I think it's 6 or 7 episodes. I'm on like episode 3.
Oh, it's like a miniseries. Like,
Jay-Z's and everything. Like, Jay-Z is campaigning for him
to get out and all that.
Yeah. Oh, it's just, when I watched it, like, I was like, how could that happen? Like, you know,
I'd say there's a lot of it though. Like,
there's
just this
politics
system, like, in general. Like,
it's
even the way Sean Atwood was talking about it when we did the podcast with him, like, it just sounds.
I was just watching it, and I was like, imagine being 16.
There isn't fairness in it,
and
like,
just being thrown into solitary confinement, like, for
3
a
years,
backpack
like.
of all things, like. And what was in the backpack was an iPad Touch, $700, and the backpack itself, like, and a phone, I think. Like, that doesn't warrant fucking nearly 3 years in prison, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's insane, absolutely insane. But I thought you would like. I was watching now last night.
Yeah, I will watch it.
And I just
definitely
thought,
will watch it.
holy shit! Like, this is. I'm hooked on it. Like, 3
that
episodes
sounds like it's up my.
So if you want to check it out,
my
Netflix.
alley. I like kind of legal stuff, like, legalities.
Sure,
like.
it's very kind of like not very like it now, but like, you know, People versus OJ. It's kind of you just get so gripped by it.
Yeah, and
Plug
making
for
a murder
Netflix
and
there
stuff
now,
like.
Netflix should be paying us really.
Yeah, so actually, I watched another one as well last night.
Oh, here we go, another doc.
Ric Flair's 30 for 30. Did you see it? No,
I know Ric Flair knows Nature Boy.
Nature Boy, yeah. And like, you know, he's well known or whatever, but I never really knew of him or anything.
He's weird as fuck.
He was, well, yeah, I suppose he was. I was into wrestling before and stuff when I was younger, like, but being a 90s kid, he was prominent in the 80s, so I didn't know much about him. I always saw this old guy floating about, right, and stuff. But he's 30 for 30. He's very, very good.
His bucket list kind of like.
No. ESPN do a series called 30 for 30, and basically they're just all like life stories and stuff. They're the best documentaries out there. Like, you've never heard of them?
Never heard of them. No.
ESPN 30 for 30. They're like the most well. Anyway, this one's very
ESPN
good.
30 for 30.
It only came out during the week there, Tuesday or Wednesday, and Nature Boy. Yeah, so basically, like, he was adopted as a kid. I don't really want to give away too much. I'll just tell. He was adopted as a kid by like, his father was a doctor and his mother was she was something very prestigious and prestigious, and I don't know, he was kind of saying they never really got him, or he never really got them and stuff, and he played numerous sports then as a teenager, and he was good at them all: wrestling, football, maybe track and field. And he got recruited to a college. He was recruited by 7, and he went to 1, whatever. And in college, then he was a bit of a party boy. He was in, what are the name of those houses? Not sorority, that's girls, frats. So there was one day in the frat house, like, this summed them up, and he had a bedroom just above the door, like, and there was like 3 girls walking up to a party, like, and just there walking up to the door, like the light flicks on, and his window opens, like, and he's like, "Welcome to the frat house," and he's just balls naked, like, all on show. So like he was a very extravagant character, like. And then there was one guy. His father ran like a wrestling camp over the summer, and he selected like a few fellas, like, and it sounded so gruesome. They'd like run up and down 21 flights of stairs with other fellas on their backs. Then they had to go up and down 21 flights of stairs, like wheelbarrow, like one fella hold their legs, the other fella has to go on his hands up 20, and they said like it was ridiculous. They were basically learning how to wrestle, like even going off the ropes and stuff, and when you first go to do it, like it rips like all your back and all this. They said it was the most torturous thing ever. And Ric Flair actually quit the camp a few weeks in, and then the fellow who was running it, like, sounds like your typical old school hard guy, like, went along anyway, found Ric Flair, and he hit him, and he said, "You're not quitting," and brought him back. And Ric Flair went back, like, he got punched.
He just kind of said,
he went back.
Better go back. Like.
So then he was meant to be good at it or whatever, so he joined NCW or whatever, and he was started out as Ric Flair, the wrestler, and he wasn't doing much in it, like, you know, he was just an ordinary wrestler. And then he was in a plane crash, him and 6 other wrestlers. The fella who drove the plane, there was only half a tank of fuel in it, and there was no reserve fuel or anything. So when they got to 5 miles short of where they were supposed to get to, the plane crashed, and they hit a forest at 230 miles an hour, and he broke his back and stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah, like 3 of his vertebrae now and all this. He'd like compression fractures. So then he was like, "Do you know what? If I'm going back to wrestling now, I'm gonna like do it my way, like, and I'm gonna be this extravagant character." And he trained, and he was overweight and stuff. He got down from like 240 pounds down to 180 or something, and he went back, and he just was a different character altogether. Like, he was like, "I'm not being Ric Flair anymore, I'm being Nature Boy." So his big thing then was like, he was kind of like Muhammad Ali, Conor McGregor-esque, like, of his era, and he started wearing kind of similar coats, even, you know, to the ones McGregor wears there, the Gucci mink and all that. Like, he was wearing these robes, like, he used to get them done for him, like, and his big thing in was "whoa." He just keeps saying "whoa, whoa, whoa" and all this, like, and so he just became this extravagant character, and people were starting to love him, like, just like every guy wanted to be him. He was like the fella you love to hate, like, but everybody wanted to be him. And so like his story is absolutely mind blowing. Then from there on, he's just like, he was married with a wife and a kid, but like his wife is on it now, his first wife, and she was just like, you know, they were just his bit in the side kind of thing, like, and like he's said he's after flaking 10,000 women.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he used to masturbate twice a day, and he drank 10 beers a day every day. I know he was saying 10 beers a day and 5 mixed drinks a day every day.
Fuck me,
yeah,
that must take your toll, like.
Oh, ridiculous. And it's just, I don't know, there's a, like, I won't ruin the rest of it, like, just it goes through his whole career and stuff, how he became the biggest face in wrestling. And
and it's only half an hour.
No, it's not. It's
no.
I don't know why it's called 30 for 30. Maybe that was how it originally started off. It's an hour and 20, but it's unreal. And he'd 4 kids then. There's a touch of sadness about it, because he was never around for his kids. For 20 years, he was never ever around for his kids.
He just devoted to wrestling.
Yeah, never around. He was always doing the dog and his wife. Like, so he sounded like a horrific family man. He had 2 kids with 1 wife, and he was never there for them, they were saying. So it's kind of sad as well. And then he had 2 more kids with another wife, who he was originally doing the dirt on his first wife with, and then married her, and then had 2 kids with them, and then one of them ended up idolising him, becoming his best friend, and his name was Ric Flair. Ric Flair is his actual name. The real name was Flair, but he changed it to Flair. It sounds better for wrestling. And so that kid then wanted to become a wrestler, under like his dad's name and all this, like, but he ended up having to go to Japan and stuff and be a wrestler over there. Like, obviously he must have been that good, like, if he was going to Japan. Got massively into drugs, and basically OD'd at 25.
Holy shit.
Yeah, OD'd at 25. So then his other daughter then wasn't into wrestling or anything before, but saw this and was like, "Do you know what, I want to follow his legacy and live out his dream, like her brother's dream. And she's now Charlotte in the WWE. She's like she's one of the champions anyway. She's massive. She's one of the biggest female wrestlers in WWE. Yeah. She's got like, I was just looking at her on Instagram and Twitter. She's got like 2 million followers on Instagram, 1 million Twitter and all that. And
so she's huge.
So she's massive. Yeah. She's after living out his
dream.
His dream and stuff. Yeah. So it's an interesting one. Like, and like Ric Flair was saying, the best moment of his life is when she won the championship, and they're asking him. I don't know. It's just like his whole identity got wrapped up in being this
Ric Flair,
this character. Like,
boy,
he's totally lost in this character, Nature Boy, and
sounds very interesting.
He had money worries, and it's so unreal to watch.
Gripping, like
unreal to watch. Yeah, it's kind of unreal, but it's kind of sad as well at the same time. Like, his family totally got screwed, like, you know. But
he fucked him over basically.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But very interesting. Well worth a watch. 30
check
30.
It out.
Yeah,
Jesus,
absolutely.
Yeah. ESPN. So yeah, my final one would probably just be, if you've seen it, you would have seen it in the last podcast. If you saw it, that we gave our predictions last weekend, and I actually
for the UFC for all sport?
For the UFC, for the sporting weekend. Let's say I'll touch on that first. I got one prediction. I got one prediction right. So
one right.
So let's go to UFC. I went
Wonderboy.
Yeah. Oh, I got Wonderboy. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I got Wonderboy. Two right. Yeah. I got Wonderboy right. I predicted Joanna would beat Rose wrong.
We both did the same. Yeah. So yeah, we both got Wonderboy, and we all got we got the other two.
And
wrong.
then I predicted Dundalk would beat City. Oh.
What did I say, bud? What did I say?
Yeah, City won it. Fair play to them.
On penalties, though. Yeah, I was wrong in my scoreline, right? But
when Dundalk went 1-up, I thought City would be in trouble, just because
extra time get a goal.
The goals, City, since Shawnee has left, and the scoring just been. But Campion took the goal very well, to be fair, and they deserved to win it on penalties. Then
they were great at penalties.
So yeah, I got that one wrong. I predicted United would beat Chelsea.
Same, sure. So did I. Yeah, got that
I was wrong, and I just said City would beat Arsenal.
What was the final score in that game?
3-1.
You said 2-1. Did you say
3-1? Yeah, I think.
And I said 3-1. I think correct score and all that. Happy with that
one.
So
I was a bit embarrassed, kind of that. But the UFC was touching
crazy.
that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. The Wonderboy Masvidal went to a decision, but Wonderboy was.
You didn't actually watch that fight?
Yeah.
Would you believe after?
I watched. I was kind of half sleeping out in the hospital watching. Yeah. I kept falling asleep, but I watched Wonderboy and Joanna the next day. Wonderboy was good. But I just hate fights that go to a decision, like.
Yeah, they're tough to watch.
They're just you're
especially
draining.
The next day. Yeah.
The Joanna one it's up there with one of the greatest fights. Just
Rose,
because Rose,
Thug Rose, Thug Rose.
And even Brendan Schaub, was saying, she kind of going. Do you watch Stranger Things?
No.
She's going for that 11 look out of Stranger Things, with the shaved head and.
All right. She's had it for ages though. I'd say she that well before Stranger Things is even a thing.
But the minute the minute I saw that, I just loved it. And I started watching
unreal. Her interview
Rose
after
fights then, and it was just
her interview after was class as well. She was just be a good person, man.
She just seems so, and she's only 25.
Because Joanna had been in her face all week. She was giving her shit, and Rose just saying nothing. She was just praying. That's almost a bit spooky.
That's the fact that God is on her side. And then we had the big one after that. Then for me was that was the one I was most looking for. I had to stay awake.
Cody Dillashaw,
And the fact that Garbrandt released a video of him knocking out Dillashaw the day before, I was like, holy shit, this is.
And then he knocked him at the end of the first.
I thought that,
That's I'd say.
Give it another 10 seconds there, and Cody.
He did. See, I'd say you're thinking there, you're coming back from the break. You're like, all right, I'm just gonna
take it easy here.
I'm just gonna finish him here now. Handy enough, It's not the break came at the perfect time for him.
Jesus, he
recovered unbelievably.
It was
unbelievable.
Just right on Garbrandt's chin. You can't do nothing about them. It's such a sport. No matter who's favourite, it's a one-punch sport.
It is. Anything can happen. And then
OSP's
knockout earlier in the night.
kick.
Yeah, I only saw the video of the knockout. No, I didn't see the fight.
I only saw the knockout.
Kick to the face.
Poor Joe Duffy lost. Irish Joe Duffy.
Oh, did he?
He was fighting. Yeah. He lost. He got TKO knocked out in the second.
Yeah.
But then you had the big one, Bisping.
GSP,
and GSP just cemented his place as the best ever.
He looked good, right, didn't he?
UFC fighter, holy shit. He made Bisping look so poor, Bisping was just so lacking. It looked like Bisping just didn't want to. Bisping didn't want to throw a punch. He didn't want to engage. I was just like, what's happening here?
But it was only afterwards I found out that they trained together a few years back or something, and apparently GSP just destroyed him in training, and that's why he wanted to fight him. They were saying, kind of Brendan Schaub and Rogan and stuff. If it was a kid fighting Whitaker or Yoel Romero or something, he wouldn't have done it. He reckoned he had the upper hand on Bisping. And even when I heard that after, and I went back, or I remember then in the face-offs, maybe it was the wins. And Bisping was like, I'm more than just a mouth, I'm more than just a talk, I'm going to show you on Saturday night. Like he's the champ, he's the favourite. Why is he saying that to GSP?
GSP
like,
should be saying
he must
that,
have inside he must have felt
he was going
like,
to lose.
Do you know, well, not that he was going to lose, but that just
there was a chance.
There was that he didn't feel 100% like, you know, I am going to win. Like that shows a bit of a chink, I think, just in his mentality. Like,
absolutely,
knocking himself's massive. Like,
you know, in UFC especially. Like, but I think even GSP in the octagon, he was throwing Superman punches. He was just his old self. Like, and the choke was just horrific.
Where do you think GSP goes now?
I was actually only watching it last night, and he was on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, and he's just refusing to say what his next move is.
Just talks of like in the pipeline down the line, Conor and
I just wouldn't like that fight. Like, I think like McGregor is the best at lightweight, at featherweight, but like he went up to welterweight against Diaz. I know he beat him at welterweight in the rematch.
Yeah, he beat
him
under savage pressure.
They weren't welterweights. Like Diaz isn't a welterweight either.
Yeah.
Like if he goes up to fight a champion at welterweight, I think
there's
there's
pressure
trouble there. Like, GSP is just insanely like talented. McGregor's talented as well, but I don't know. I think GSP will vacate the middleweight anyway. Yeah, like I just don't think he could fight. Imagine him fighting someone like Romero or Whittaker. They're two big boys.
They're absolute beasts. Yeah,
you know, there's a difference there between them and Bisping. Like so,
big time.
That I just wanted to touch on there for my last topic. That how shocking we were at the predictions. But
sure, I'd say everybody would have had similar predictions like that. Sure, that was 3 title fights and 3 titles handed over.
It's the first time it's ever happened. Like
so I wouldn't I wouldn't be too disheartened by it. So the
what's
last
your final
thing I
one,
have
brother?
here, right? I just seen this on another channel podcast.
We won't name.
So I'm just going to name out words, right? And I just want you to respond with one word. Like,
so
what it means to you,
or what it means to
no, well, it can be what it means to you, or just a bit more. Like a lot of times it'll be like kind of what it means to you, but like, or else like just what comes to your head. Like, just give me one word. Like, you know what I mean?
Weird.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 things. It's kind of like rapid fire. Like,
okay. I feel like under pressure here.
Well, like Okay, so you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Liverpool. I tried to make them
relatable to me. Passion.
Oh, passion from you or passion from them?
Passion from me, like.
Cork,
home.
Oh, UFC.
Hobby, or not hobby, like hobby. Interest, like.
Interest, okay. PlayStation.
Addicted.
Good answer, I like it. Instagram.
Ooh. Just my favourite social media platform.
Oh, that's not one word.
Okay, it's addicted.
That's the same as PlayStation. That's different.
Instagram. Love.
Okay.
Love Instagram, like.
Dogs. Or Ralph.
Oh.
Your dog.
Best friend.
Podcast.
Enjoyable.
College.
Hatred.
Yeah. Okay, that's it, bud.
I like it though. How did you come
you could do that, guests and stuff, I think, as well.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good.
There's a few there get you, like the Instagram, and I was like, it's social media. What the fuck?
I think it would be good anyway.
Very good. I like it.
Just a bit of a laugh.
It's engaging. You kind of put you on
absolutely.
the spot. I love it. We'll definitely try it out with the next guest.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I suppose you have any more to add?
No.
No,
that's it.
I suppose we'll wrap it up there as quick as we can.
Perfect.
I suppose thanks for all the likes last week on the podcast, the comments, the shares, lol. If you just want to comment down below again, like it, share it, massive amount to us. And again, the same on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it.
We would. Subscribe.
We'll catch you next time.
All right, cheers.
Take it easy.